Uthe ke pha kumgca u12 uye wabelana nawe ngomfanekiso welungu langasese lika JP.
Sorry.
And that-
sorry, Mr. Madam, sir. It is page
43
of the transcript.
of the transcript that I headed up yesterday.
You say line?
I said line 12.
Yes.
If I may just start, Ms. Chabela, do you have a transcript there in front of you?
Which file is it, Council?
Or there's an excerpt of the transcript that we shared with you yesterday. Do you have it?
We found it. We found it.
Yes. And if we probably start at page 43, line 5, she says it was a picture of a private part which she had shared with her late friend. And you'll find this in line 5 at page 43. And she says in line 12, she took a screenshot of that picture and forwarded it to you. If you go down to line 16 to 17 for safekeeping.
Line 16.
16 to 17.
Is that on page 43, Council?
Yes.
Sorry, we are a bit lost.
Yeah,
With what does the sentence start, Council?
It starts with Ms. Mengo. It is one of the pictures that got deleted, but I took screenshot and forwarded it to my colleague in order for the colleague to keep it for me. Can you see that?
Yes, we found it. Thank you. Kukhona ke apha kubungqina bakhe uMrs Mengo apho atshoyo into kokubana enye yale mifanekiso yacimeka uthathe i-screenshot sawo ngefowuni le ukwenzela into yobana azokwazi ukugcina lo mfanekiso ke ngulo mfanekiso athi ibililungu langasese lika JP. Mfanekiso lowo aye wakuthumelela wona yena okanye uthumelele. Did she send it to this witness or the late colleague?
To the witness, Miss Brenda.
Okay. Uthi ke lo mfanekiso lo wawuthumela kuwe.
Sorry, that part of the transcript is where it was sent to the late colleague. It's only on the next page that I asked if she was also forwarded it to someone else, where she's mentioned this witness. Page 44, the next page. Line 15, I'm asking, did you send it to someone else? And then on line 19 to 21, she says it was forwarded to this witness. So I'm not objecting that it was sent to her, but the part of the transcript is not relating to this witness.
It doesn't matter. I was going to go to line 15 to 21, page 44. That same screenshot was forwarded to this witness. Can you confirm that? I'm just saying to you, that is the evidence that she put before this tribunal. That the screenshot of the private part that she took and sent it to her friend, Ms. Corner, she forwarded it to you.
Ufuna uqonda kuba ingabe uyayingqina na ngoba ubungqina bakhe uthe i-screenshot salo mfanekiso welungu langasese uye wasithumela okanye wawuthumela lo mfanekiso kulo mhlobo wakhe ke ungasekhoyo nakuwe ngokunjalo uye wakuthumelela. Ingaba kunjalo?
Kunjalo, Council. Wabe lo mfanekiso uscreenshotiwe unemibhalo ekucaca uba ebethetha nomntu ndabe ndandingamazi lo mntu wayethetha naye ngela xesha.
That is correct, Council. In that this very screenshot picture had some writings on it, which was evident that she was having a conversation with someone, but at the time I did not even know whom she was conversing with.
Yeah, in fact, if you go to page 46, line 1 to 5, she explains exactly what you are stating. She says, and I quote it for you, I first took a screenshot of that conversation of mine with, we know, Miss Corner, and placed it in my conversation with Brenda. In other words, she took that conversation and gave it to you.
Uyayivuma ke naye lento ugqiba uyitsho ngoku into yoba iyavela apha kwi-transcripts ezi iphepha ngu-46 apho atshoyo nayo into yoba ndisithathile i-screenshot esi sibe sinale ncoko yam nalo colleague wam ungasekhoyo ndasithumela kuBrenda kuba ndandifuna ukumbonisa into yoba abone uba ukhona omnye umntu ongomnye ebendincokola naye ngale nto.
Kunjalo, Councillor.
That is correct, Councillor.
So then to clarify, what Ms. Mengo sent to you is a screenshot of the conversation she had with Ms. Con.
Ukuzama ke ngoku ukuyicacelwa ithi londo uMrs Mengo ukuthumelele i-screenshot sencoko yakhe nalo colleague wakhe ungasekhoyo.
Kunjalo.
That is correct.
So to make it clear, if I take you to volume 1 at page 47,
Page 47.
47, yeah, it's K8.
K8.
Yes.
We got it, Councillor.
Page 47.
We got it.
Now we're waiting for the members of the tribunal. It's K8.
Yes.
Yes. It's not that clear. But you were taken to this picture by the evidence leader. And you were asked if this is the picture which was sent to you, and you said yes. But let's correct that. From what we have just dealt with, it cannot be correct that this is what you received from Ms. Mengo.
Ubukhe wabuzwa ke ngulowo ebebuza imibuzo okanye ekhokela ubungqina evidence leader ke ngesilungu into yoba ingaba lo mfanekiso siwubonayo apha kwiphepha u-47 ophawulwe ngonobumba u-K nenombolo u-8 ingaba ngulo mfanekiso ubuwuthunyelelwe na wathi wena ewe uthi ke yena ayikwazi uba ibe nguwo lowo uthunyelwe wena umfanekiso.
Because what you actually received from Ms. Mengo was a screenshot of a conversation which
Ngoba kaloku
the private part which was sent by allegedly sent by the JP to Ms. Corner.
isizathu sokubatsho uthi kungenxa yento yoba wena ubuthunyelelwe i-screenshot somfanekiso atyhola ngelithi yena uMrs Mengo uthunyelwe lo mfanekiso ngu-respondent waze yena wawuthumela kulogxa wakhe ungasekhoyo wathumela kwale ntinye eyithumela kuwe. Ayikwazi ke ngoko ukuba ngulo umfanekiso uku-47 K8.
Lo mfanekiso ku-K8 andiwukhumbula ndibuzwa ngawo ngu-evidence leader.
The picture that is depicted on K8 annexure, I do not recall being asked about it by the evidence leader.
You were. We're all here. You're taken straight to that picture.
No, Chair, I did not take the witness to that picture. I only referred to the picture of the leg in the chambers. I did not show this picture to her.
Can I?
She testified that she received a picture of a private part, but I did not show her this one.
Well, let's clarify that since you are here. This is not the picture that was sent to you by Ms. Mengo, which is the picture depicting what Ms. Mengo alleges to have been a picture sent to her by the JP. This is not it.
Sizama ukucacelwa ke ngoku kulo mcimbi walo mfanekiso. Ayinguwo lo mfanekiso lo oye wawuthunyelelwa wena nguMrs Mengo. Mfanekiso lo atyhola ngelokokuba uthi ufumene ku-respondent ibe ingumfanekiso welungu lakhe langasese. Ayinguwo lo.
Ayizange ndiwubone lowo njena kwezanto wayendithumelele zona.
I never saw this particular picture from the pictures that she sent me.
So from what you are now saying, if I clarify what you are saying, there is a picture of the screenshot that you received from Ms. Mengo.
Uba ndikuva kakuhle ngaba uthi ke ngoku ukhona umfanekiso lowo okwi-screenshot se-screenshot oye wawuthunyelelwa nguMrs Mengo.
Kunjalo counsel.
That is-
Onemibhalo.
That is correct, Counsel, with writings on it.
And I have not seen that screenshot in these proceedings. Have you been taken through it during your evidence?
Andi ubonanga ke lo mfanekiso apha kule nkqubo. Ingaba wena ukhe wawubona okanye ubonisiwe kwingqokelela ke le yobungqina esinayo?
Andikhumbuli ndibuzwa ngawo.
I don't remember being asked about it.
Yes, but your evidence then is at odds with what Ms. Mengo has told us in her evidence. You say you were sent 3 pictures by Ms. Mengo.
Bungqina bakho ke bunayo indawo efuna upoqa ngoba uthi wena uthunyelelwe imifanekiso yamithathu uyithunyelelwa nguye uMiss Mengo. Xa ndisithi iyapoqa kule nto ebeyithethile yena kobakhe ubungqina. Uthi mithathu wena imifanekiso ithunyelelwe nguMrs Mengo.
Undithumelele imifanekiso emithathu counsel. Satsho.
She sent me 3 pictures, Counsel, I still maintain.
And those pictures that you say she sent you, are they screenshots of conversations that she had with Miss Connor?
Lo mifanekiso leyo ingaba zi-screenshot zencoko yakhe nalo xa wakhe ungasekhoyo?
Counsel, umfanekiso one-screenshot ngulowe private part. Une-screenshot isi-screenshot sinencoko yabo ebeyincokola.
Counsel, The picture with a screenshot is the one of a private part that also contains writing on it, which is the conversation of Mrs. Mengo and her late colleague.
Let's take it step by step, how you received the pictures. If you forward pictures using WhatsApp, you can forward them all at once or one by one.
Masiqale ngohlobo ke sithathe ibenye ngexesha. Xa ufumana ke imifanekiso ku WhatsApp uyakwazi ukuyifumana ngaxeshanye ize yonke ngaxeshanye okanye ukwazi ukuyigqithisa imifanekiso ube ngumfanekiso ube mnye ngexesha.
Ibe ngumfanekiso omnye ngexesha owokuqala ngulo usi-screenshot uyi-private part with i-conversation yakhe nalo muntu ebencokola naye.
The first one that was sent is a screenshot of a private part that contained the conversation that she had with the person that she was having a conversation with. That's the first one.
And then the others followed.
Kwalandela ke ngoku eminye imifanekiso.
Kunjalo, Council.
That is correct, Council.
You also say something important in this regard. You say, before she sent you these pictures, she preceded the sending of the pictures with a message, a WhatsApp message.
Ikhona ke into ebalulekileyo oye wayikhankanya apha ngaphambi kokuba ungene kulo mcimbi wokuthunyelelwa kwakho imifanekiso. Uthe phambi kokuba kuthumela imifanekiso uqale ngokubhalela kuqala phambi kokuba thumele imifanekiso.
Kunjalo, Council.
That is correct, Council.
In her evidence at page 45, line 9 to 10, she says, Ms. Mengo says, when she was sending you the pictures, the pictures, she did not go into detail. Just to quote, well, if you go to line 3, I did not go into detail. That is now with the first colleague, the colleague that has since passed away. And then she was asked, and with Brenda, and she says, I did not go into detail the first time when I sent it.
Kukhona ke kwakhona apha kwi-transcript ezi xa ebebuzwa ngomcimbi wokungena nzulu kwiinkcukacha zale ncoko xa ebuzwa uba ingaba ngexesha ebethetha noBrenda na nguwe ke lowo waphendula ke yena esithi andingenanga kwiinkcukacha kwisihlandlo sokuqala xa bendimthumelela.
But then you say, when she sent the pictures to you, she preceded that with WhatsApps explaining what was that all about. In fact, you say, she said there's an old man who's abusing me, sending me pictures, according to your evidence.
Kubungqina bakho ke ngoku uthi ngaphambi kokuba kuthumelele imifanekiso uqale ngokuchaza esithi yena ukhona utata omdala ondihlukumezayo emveni koko wathumela imifanekiso.
Kunjalo, Council. Kukhona kuhambe uqale kwangena umyalezo otshoyo kuba ukhona utata omdala ongujaji.
That is correct, Council. The first message I received from her was when she mentioned that there is an older man or / father that is abusing me, and this man is a judge. That's the first message I received before receiving the pictures.
But I'm saying she said she did not send any message when she was sending me pictures.
And
See the contradiction.
Endikutshoyo ke mna ndithi kodwa yena uthi Akakhanga benantetha ayenzayo ngaphambi kokuba kuthumelele imifanekiso. Kulapho ndiyibona khona ke ngoku into biyakhabana.
Kodwa ke mna council, mna mntu befumene imiyalezo, ilo hlobo ndikuxelela ngalo council.
But as the person who had received the message, Council, it's how exactly I've now narrated. That is what happened.
So the way she narrated it is incorrect.
Ngoko ke ngale ndlela yena ibeke ngayo ayiyo.
Chair, I don't think it is a fair question because she never said she did not say anything. I asked if she went into detail. There's a difference between going into detail and saying something. She did not say whether or not she wrote anything. That is silent in this transcript.
What did she say?
She did not mention when she forwarded the screenshot whether or not there was any written text accompanying it. I just asked her, did you go into details? Which she said I did not go into details at first.
Okay. Well, as they say, the devil lies in details.
We'll leave it.
You are introducing arguments around the details.
Yes, we'll leave it for argument. I've made the point.
I think so.
Yes. In relation to the screenshot of conversations, or screenshot of the screenshot of conversations which Ms. Mbenenge had with the late Ms. Connor, you say we have not seen it, we have not been taken through it in these proceedings. It's a big issue in this case, Ms. Jobela, I'll tell you, because it is disputed by the respondent that he ever sent a picture of his private part to Ms. Mbenenge, such as is reflected in K8. I just want to preface my question to you with that.
Can you break it down, Council?
I'm saying that it's a big issue in this case. Thank you. The big issue in this case, whether or not the respondent sent any picture of a private part to Ms. Mbenenge.
Ithanda ukuba yinto ke ethethisayo ke indaba yento kokuba ingaba ngokwenene uMrs Mbenenge uye wathunyelelwa nyani na umfanekiso welungu langasese ewuthunyelelwa ku-respondent.
And she bolstered that allegation with reference to the fact that as evidence of that, she sent it to you.
Kangangento kokuba waleke ngokokutsho kubungqina bakhe into kokuba obo bungqina obo bawo lo mfanekiso uthumele kuwe.
Now, it is concerning to me that you have not produced a screenshot of the conversation that was sent to you.
Ithanda ukundinika ukuxhalaba ke into kokubana awubuvezanga obo bungqina besi screenshot njengokuba ubusinikiwe.
Do you have any comment?
Ikhona into ongathi uyiphefumle wena ngaloo nto?
Andicacelwa council xa usithi andibuvezanga kuba kaloku ngelixesha ndibuzwa ngu-evidence leader apha ndiyichazile into yobana undithumelele ipicture esi-screenshot ye-private part.
It is not clear now, Council, when you are stating that in my evidence I did not bring this forth, whereas this was very clear when I was asked questions by the evidence leader. I mentioned that there was a screenshot that was sent to me with a conversation on it.
I'm saying no, I'm not denying that you said that. I'm saying that you did not produce that screenshot itself.
Andiyiphikileyo kodwa awuyive into endiyithethayo into yokokuba awusivezanga esi screenshot.
Andicacelwa council usiveze efowunini.
This is not clear now, Council. Am I supposed to be producing this from my phone?
Yes.
Ewe.
Andisenayo kwaloo fowuni ndandiyisebenzisa ngelo xesha.
I don't even have that phone that I used back then.
And that is precisely
Sorry.
the problem.
Sorry, on that particular issue, can I just ask you this question? Did she, when sending you that picture and others, did she ask you to keep them for her?
Kanye kule ndawo ugqiba uyitsho ngoku ufuna uqonda kumhlali ngaphambili into yokuba ingaba ngeli xesha kuthumeleleyo ke lo mfanekiso uye wakucela wena into yokuba ugcinela yena.
Zangathetha nto ngawugcina.
She never mentioned something about keeping it. Chair.
Okay. There's a reason why I asked that question, because I got the impression that she said she asked both of you, the colleague and you I'll be corrected by counsel, that she said she asked the deceased and yourself to keep those things for her.
Ndinesizathu sokuba ndikubuze ke ngolu hlobo ngoba kaloku ndawuthi ndilungiswe ke ngabo bammeleyo ukuba ndiyaphazama kodwa ibe khona intetha ethi wakucela uba umgcinele kanye naye ugxa wakhe lungasekhoyo wamcela into yoba agcine.
Before you answer, I'm certain of that request in respect of the deceased.
Ngaphambi koba uphendule ke kodwa mandithi ndiqinisekile ngalena into ingakumbi ngokuphathelene nalo ungasekhoyo.
But my recollection may be wrong in your case. So I stand to be corrected by counsel before I make you answer to a question which is not justified.
Kodwa kusenokwenzeka uba ndiyaphazama xa sifikeleleka kweyakho indaba kodwa kuyawuske atsho ke igqwetha uba ndiyaphazama mhlawumbi kukhona nam ukuphazama ngenxa yokulibala kodwa ndiqinisekile ngalungasekhoyo uba wacela uba makagcine mhlawumbi ngakwelakho icala ngaphambi koba uphendule.
Chair.
Ima kancinci.
Chair, it's
I was
page,
just indicating to the witness not to answer now, but to wait for a possible correction.
Yes, if I
Chair,
may,
it's,
Chair.
it's page 44, line 23 to 25.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Can I just take you through that, Chair, so that we're putting the right words to the
Page
witness?
what?
Page 44, at the bottom, line 23 to 25. Advocate Skipper says, so the only reason was for safekeeping, according to you, and to inform them that something happened to you. Mengo says, yes, both of these reasons.
Yes, exactly. So, Chair, it's important to go back to page 43. Page 43, line 15. Ms. Mbenenge says, it is one of the pictures that got deleted, but I took a screenshot and forwarded it to my colleague in order for the colleague to keep it for me.
Now that's the
Right?
deceased.
That's the deceased. So she forwarded it to a colleague for that colleague to keep it for her. Then if you turn over the page, she keeps talking about that colleague and she says at line 4, I did it for the purposes.
Line
4.
Yeah, yes, thank you.
I did it for the purposes so that that person keeps it for me. It was also to inform that person that there is something befalling me or happening to me. And then you keep reading down the page.
Yes.
She says the first person that I spoke to was the late Ms. Corner. Okay. And then, Judge, you ask her, no, they are not asking you who you spoke to. They say, whom did you send the picture to? I sent it to my late colleague or the colleague that has since passed on. And then Advocate Skipper says, did you send it to someone else as well? And she says, yes, there is. She says, who? And then she says, it is also a colleague of ours who is now in Port Elizabeth. And her name is the witness here today. And Advocate Skeepers puts to her, so the only reason was for safekeeping, according to you, and to inform them that something happened to you. And she says, yes, both those reasons. She does not say, I sent it to Ms. Dobella and asked her to keep it for me. So I think it's important that we
No,
put
no,
the
no, no,
correct...
no, no.
There are
No, 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 no.
let me finish,
No,
please. There are conclusions.
sorry,
Chair, if I can
sorry.
finish.
Please don't interject each other.
Yeah, if I can just finish. We can draw conclusions as lawyers in due course, but I think it's important to put the correct propositions of what the witness said to this witness and ask her to draw a conclusion. Afterwards, we can argue what that means or what it doesn't mean. Thank you, Chair.
Come in, Chair, and just correct the impression created here. My learned friend did not...
Just let me read this for a minute. So the only reason was for safekeeping, according to you, and to inform them that something happened to you. Yes, both reasons. All right, I've read it.
Chair, what I wanted to underscore is where it starts.
Mr. Madonsela, but isn't this for argument?
It could be, but
I mean, the way it's they spoke, don't you really
But I'm
think
not-
this witness won't know?
I'm not arguing it. I'm assisting the chair who asked the question. I'm saying, Chair, the impression that was given by Ms. Butler did not start from where the conversation began. And she did not read the beginning of the discussion. It's in 44, it's line 2, when Skipper starts this conversation. She asked the question. Then that is why I asked the question about sending it to somebody else. Why did you forward it to someone else as well? And then she gives this explanation for
All
safekeeping.
right.
Yeah, that's where it
Thank
begins.
you. I think I can also read and understand English. So I'll read this. And may I then go back to what I had asked the witness, and I think the witness had answered my question. I asked you whether the complainant, when sending the pictures to you, did she ask you to keep them or to put them in safekeeping or to keep them safe? Did she ask you that?
Umbuzo wam ke ndibuyela kuwo ndikubuzile ukuba ingaba ngethuba lo ukhalazileyo okanye ufake isikhalazo ekuthumelela lo mfanekiso utshilo na kuwe into yokokuba ucela lo mfanekiso ubeke elugcinweni umgcinele.
Ayizange atsho, Chair.
She never said that, Chair.
All right. Now, the reason I'm asking you this question was I was going to ask you, if you had said yes, I was going to ask you whether you did keep them. But you said, now that you say she didn't ask you to, I want to ask you why you didn't keep them. Thank you.
Bendicinga uba ke uba ubuzawuthi ewe watsho uba mgcinele bendiza kubuza ukuba ingaba uye wazigcina nyhani na ezi pictures.
For the
Tshilo
rest,
ke into yoba uzangatsho.
for the rest, Council, our members of the panel will be able to read this transcript for themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I have no further questions. Oh, there is. Just to sum up on this topic, then, whilst the complainant, Ms. Mbenenge, says she sent you a single picture incorporating conversation corner, you say she sent you 3 pictures. That's it.
Njengokuba ubusowutshile kwinto okokubana uMrs Mengo ukuthumelele umfanekiso onencoko yakhe nalo waye wasweleka. Uthi ke ngoku wena ukuthumelele yamithathu imifanekiso. Kunjalo?
Kunjalo, Council.
That is correct, Council.
And the conversations that you say she sent you, the other pictures, other than the private part pictures, is one that is at page 36. It's the same one.
Is it 36, Council?
36, yeah?
Eminye ke imifanekiso ngaphandleni kwalo welungu langasese ngaphandle kwawo ilapha le mifanekiso ilapha kuphepha ku-36.
Council, kunjalo.
Yes, Council, that's correct.
As it appears at page 36.
Wakuthumela ngohlobo ivela ngalo apha kweli phepha ku-36.
Ndaqaphela lona mna Council ulapha eqaleni apha eqoneni left ezantsi.
I noticed, Council, more on the one that is depicted on the left bottom corner of the page.
What I'm asking is, was it a screenshot of a conversation or was it a picture, a screenshot as we see it here?
Endifuna ukukwazi kukokuba ingaba yayisi-screenshot esinayo incoko okanye yayingumfanekiso nje qha njengoba siwubona wona umfanekiso apha.
Hayi yayingeso screenshot, Council. Yayipicture le bendisithi ipicture efana nezi ku-internet.
No, it was not a screenshot, Council. It was a picture. I went on further to explain that it seemed like a picture from the internet.
Okay, can I just break this down? You see in this picture at page 36, there is conversation, there's a on top, conversation. Remember, can you see that conversation?
Siyabona incoko le apha kuphepha u-36.
Kunjalo.
Nansi incoko siyabona.
And then below
Yes.
that conversation, there are stickers, what we have been told are stickers.
Ngezantsi ke ngoku siyabona uba kukho ezi zinto zezi-stickers apha. Sixelelwe loo nto kodwa zii-stickers.
And
Yes.
we've been told by experts that these are pictures that these stickers were shown when somebody is preparing to compile a message.
Sixelelwe ke ngabo bazingcaphephe into yokuba le mifanekiso lena yimifanekiso eye idityaniswe ngulowo ozawuthi alungiselele ukubhala umyalezo. Batshilo bona aba baziyo apha ezinathi.
Now, what I'm asking you is, the picture that you received, did it include the messages above it?
Endifuna ukukwazi ke ngoku into yokokuba lo mfanekiso wena oye wawufumana okanye wawuthunyelelwa ingaba ubunayo le ncoko siyibonayo apha ingasentla.
Ubungenayo, Council. Ibipicture qha. Umfanekiso nje oclean ohamba wodwa.
It did not have the conversation, Council, that's depicted on the picture above. It was just a picture alone with no conversation.
So to the extent that you were shown H2 or H1, page 38, as the image of the picture that you received, that is not quite accurate.
Please repeat, Council.
To the extent that you were shown page 38.
38 or 36?
Sorry, page 36. To the extent that you were shown page 36, to verify whether the picture that was sent to you and the pictures shown there, that is not quite accurate.
Ithi ke loo nto ayilungelelani xa uyibeka ngohlobo uba uthi lo mfanekiso ye wawuthunyelelwa ngumfanekiso ohamba wodwa ngokwalapha njengoba subona ayilungelelani uba uthi uthunyelelwe lo mfanekiso wodwa ungathunyelelwanga nayo yonke enye le siyibonayo apha into.
Andikwazi ukuphendula ke yokungalungelelani kodwa ke mna ndathunyelelwa lo mfanekiso uhamba wodwa. Into yona ndiyibone.
Imake. I'm not able to respond on the accuracy part. However, I was sent the picture that is depicted on the bottom part, left side of this annexure.
Le yona into inele mibhalo ndiyibone ngeli xesha beseziphumile zonke ii-messages zikwi-status.
The part where now we see this part of the messaging with messages on it, I only got to see that when this was on the statuses.
So just to get my mind clear. So what you would have received is a picture that zoomed only to the picture that is at the bottom left of page 38.
Uba ndikuva kahle umfanekiso ubuzabe ufumene wena kulo ulapha ekoneni ezantsi
36.
ube uzunyiwe lo mfanekiso ukuwufumana kwakho ungengomfanekiso ubuzabe uvele nayo yonke le into ivelayo apha.
Andiyazi ke council ekaZoom kodwa lo mfanekiso ndawufumana ushukuma usenza la movement.
Council, I do not know now about the Zoom part. However, when I received the picture, it was actually in motion doing the movement.
Oh. That adds another dimension in the case. You did not receive a picture. You received a motion picture.
Iyongeza ke ngoku kulento ngoba kaloku ngoku kuyabonakala ba ufumananga mfanekiso wena. Ufumene into engumfanekiso oshukumayo.
Unjalo council ndafumana umfanekiso onjalo.
That is correct, Council. That's the kind of picture I received.
On its own.
Uhamba nje poqo wodwa.
Wawungenancoko wawungenanto message.
Yes, it was not accompanied by any conversation or message for that matter.
In other words, showing in that movement or motion that we are talking about, showing the two individuals in a sexual act.
Ngamanye amazwi ke lento uyifumeneyo ingumfanekiso oshukumayo ubonisa aba bantu babini beshukuma besenza into ehambisana nesilalo.
Kunjalo.
That is correct.
And the impression that was, and it was conveyed to you that this was the picture that was sent by Miss Mango, or sorry, by the respondent to Miss Mango.
Please repeat, Councillor.
And it was conveyed to you that this was the motion picture which was sent by the respondent to the complainant.
Kwaze kwathiwa kuwe ke lento yinto ethunyelwe ngurespondent eyithumela kuMrs Mengo.
Ukhumbule ke council kangandixelela uba uyithunyelelwe ngubani na wathi ngutata omdala omhlukumezayo ongujaji. Akamchazi uba ngubani.
Remember, Council, she never mentioned as to who the person is. All she said was, it's an old man or father who is a judge,
Okay.
who is abusing her.
Sure, she said to you, the person who sent you that motion picture was the judge, the judge in the division, the old judge in the division. That's what-
Uthilo kuwe wathi lo muntu omthumelele lento yalomfanekiso ushukumayo ngulo tata umdala ungujaji.
Kunjalo, Council.
That is correct, Council.
And you have not shown us the motion or the picture as was sent to you by the complainant in these proceedings.
Awukhange usibonise ke nawe lo mfanekiso utshukumayo apha kule nkqubo lo kanye ubuthunyelelwe nguye.
Ndikubonisile Council lo mfanekiso ubuzile wathi mandityhilelwe kule page ndakolathisa uba nanku lo mfanekiso.
I showed you, Council, when you asked me about it. I showed you, I pointed it out in the bundle that I was given, that this is the picture that I was referring to.
No. I'm asking you is, you have not shown us in these proceedings the exact picture that was as sent to you by Ms. Mbenenge.
Hayi endikutshoyo into okokuba kule inkqubo sikuyo ngoku awukhange usibonise lo mfanekiso wena othi uthunyelelwe nguMrs Mbenenge. Khange usibonise utsho apha kule inkqubo.
Andilazi kolu hlobo lonibonisa uthetha ngalo Council mhlawumbi ungakho undicacisele unibonisa njani.
I do not know now the manner in which you would wish me to show you in these proceedings. Perhaps you could elaborate and explain how do you want me to do that?
No, what I'm saying to you is that page 38 is not what you received from Ms.
36.
Mbenenge.
36, Council.
So it's not clear. Page 36 is not what you received from Ms. Mbenenge. Not so?
Endikutshoyo into okokubana uphepha u-36 lo is not the picture that she received.
Yes.
Apha kuphepha u-36 uthi asinguwo umfanekiso wena owuthunyelelwe nguMrs Mbenenge, ayinguwo.
Ewe ayilo leli phepha loku-36 line messages.
Yeah.
Umfanekiso phaa ezantsi qha.
Yes, it's not this page that is depicted on page 36 that contains messages above, but however, the picture that was sent is depicted at the bottom of that very same page.
In other words, there is another picture
Ithetha ukuthi loo nto ngamanye amazwi ukhona omnye umfanekiso.
which was sent to you by Ms. Mbenenge.
Mfanekiso lowo wawuthunyelelwe wena nguMrs Mbenenge.
Utsho phandle kwalo ndikolathisa wona apha Council.
You mean besides the one I've just pointed out to you on this page?
But section 36 is not what was sent by Ms. Mbenenge to you. We have settled that.
Kodwa ke uphepha u-36 asiyo lento ibithunyelwe kuwe nguMrs Mbenenge. Andithi sivene ngaleyo?
Sivene Council ayiyo tu.
We in agreement, that's not it.
So there is the one that was sent to you by Ms. Mbenenge.
Kutsho ukuthi ke ikhona le ubuyithunyelelwe ipicture nguMrs Mbenenge.
Yewe yile ilapha emazantsi left.
Yes, it's the one right at the bottom on your left corner.
No, it's not.
Asiyo.
Because that one that was sent to you by Ms. Mbenenge was a standalone.
Ngoba kaloku le wena ubuyithunyelelwe nguMrs Mbenenge nguzimele geqe wepicture.
Chair, before she answers, this witness has testified about this. She said that picture on the left corner on the bottom of page 36 was the picture that was forwarded to her, but not in the way it's depicted on page 36. That picture was sent alone. There's no other picture that was forwarded to her. But the picture was not sent in the screenshot, like on page 36. The picture on the bottom left was forwarded to her alone. Only that picture, none of the other pictures on that page.
I think we understand that. What is it that is not clear? What is the issue?
The issue is there must exist somewhere in the pictures that the complainant, the witness received from the complainant, which is a standalone picture.
Which is bottom left.
Which is the bottom left, which depicts bottom left of
Yes.
36. I'm asking about that one. Where is it? Alone.
No, okay.
The
Are
standalone one.
you asking her whether she received it, or are you asking her where is it?
Where is it? That's the question I'm asking. In these proceedings, whether it's been disclosed in these proceedings as a standalone, as it was received by her.
Yeah, but I don't know whether she'll be able to answer that question, because she's just a witness.
Sorry, Chair, if you'd assist in closing this. The witness has actually answered that. She was asked, where are those photos? She said she doesn't have that phone anymore. If you want to ask her whether she has the photos, she can answer that question. But that really seems to me to be the gist of what we're trying to get to.
So the chair was taking instructions.
Yes.
You're waiting for me?
Yes. If you have finished taking instructions.
Yes, I have. Let me just round out on this topic, because I think we have dealt with it for far too long. And by asking one question to this witness and then move on. Ms. Jobela, in these proceedings, you have not shown us a picture of the private part in which were sent to you by Ms. Mengo. Is that so?
She has not shown.
Yeah.
Ms. Jobela, apha kule inkqubo singayo awukhange usibonise umfanekiso welungu langasese. Lo mfanekiso ubuthunyelelwe kuMrs Mengo. Kunjani? Khange usibonise wena.
Ndinibonise counsel because bekungekho ndawo ndinonibonisa kuyo.
I did not show you, counsel, because there was no place where I would have shown you.
Let me move on to the next topic.
I think your client wants to give you instructions.
Chair, I have the privilege of overruling my instructions.
Okay.
Let me move on the other topic. In these proceedings, something was said, I think, by Ms. Mengo about the JP speaking to the respondent, speaking to her about how she was dressed in court.
Kule nkqubo ke kuphindile kwakhona intetha ethetha ngento kokubana uJP lo uke wabhekisa amazwi ngenxa yendlela awayenxibe ngayo uMrs Mengo.
Ndandingekho ke kuleyo into counsel. Kodwa ke uJP ndimazi ingumntu othi uthi sisonke as istaff athi uba unxiba nga black and white athi unxiba curtains namhlanje.
I was not part of that conversation, unfortunately, counsel. However, this is how I know the JP to be. This is something he will say to us as staff members as a whole, that if you are not wearing black and white, he will say it that today you are wearing a curtain.
Thank you, Chair. I have no further questions.
Thank you.
I have no questions. Thank you, Chair.
Advocate Butland.
Just a couple of questions, please, Chair. Ms. Jubela, sorry to keep you longer, but just a few questions. Ms. Jubela, one of the difficulties of being a witness is that you have to sit here and you get asked many questions about things that happened some time ago.
Enye yezinto ke ethanda uba nobunzima njengengqina yinto yokokuba ukulindeleke ukuba uhlale kwinkqubo eloluhlobo uphendule imibuzo mayelana nento eyenzeka noko ixesha selidlulile. That is correct?
Now, am I correct that the conversations on WhatsApp that we're talking about today and yesterday happened more than 2 years ago?
Ingaba ndinyanisile na xa ndisithi le nto esithetha ngayo namhlanje yencoko eyenzekayo kunxibelelwano lukaWhatsApp yenzeka noko ngaphezu kweminyaka emibini eyadlulayo.
Kunjalo, although ningayazi kakuhle ke iminyaka leyo uba ixesha lingakanani, kodwa ke kudala.
That is correct, even though I do not know the specific years or year, but it's been quite a number of years back.
Okay, so I just want to ask you a question directly so it's absolutely clear for this panel where we are.
Ndifuna ukukubuza umbuzo ongqale ngqo ukwenzela into yobana wonke umuntu ohleli apha acacelwe.
You asked about, let me start again. Your evidence was that you received 3 photographs from Ms. Mbenenge. Is that correct?
Ubungqina bakho ke bubusithi wena unemifanekiso mithathu owayifumana kuMrs. Mbenenge, kunjalo?
Kunjalo.
That is correct.
Do you still have those photographs printed or on a phone somewhere?
Usenawo ke lo mafoto lawo owawafumanayo mhlambi uwaprintile wawagcina endaweni ethile okanye wawafaka kwifayile ethile?
Andisenawo kuba zange ndicinge into yoba mandiwaprinte okanye ndiwagcine.
I no longer have them. I never even thought about printing them out and keep them safe.
Okay. Now, the 3 photos that you said you received, one was of a private part of a man.
La mafoto ke ngokumathathu owawafumanayo elokuqala bubudoda okanye lilungu langasese lomuntu oyindoda.
But that's not correct, Chiefs. That is not correct.
You're welcome to correct me.
I think that's not correct. I think Malena's friend is really rebranding the evidence. The witness said it was a screenshot of conversations.
I'm asking for the witness chair for what her evidence was. I need to put it as a screenshot. It doesn't change the gist of what I'm asking.
Yes, I think, yeah, a picture then.
Yeah. Ms. Jobela, when I say picture, I'm including screenshot. If it was a screenshot, it was a screenshot.
Uxa ndithetha ke ngomfanekiso ndisayifaka into yokuthi ingasiso i-screenshot andiyikhuphi indaba ye-screenshot.
But the 3, I'll call it picture. Okay, just so we're clear.
Kodwa ke ndizasuke nje ndiyibize uba ngumfanekiso ukwenzela uba sikwazi ukuqhubekeka.
The 3 pictures you received was the first was of a man's private part.
Kule mifanekiso ke mithathu owayifumanayo oqala umfanekiso ngowobudoda okanye ngumfanekiso welungu langasese lendoda.
Kunjalo.
That is correct.
The second was of a leg of a man in an office setting.
Owesibini umfanekiso ngumlenze wendoda onxiba ibhlukwe nesihlangu eofisini.
And the leg was clothed.
Umlenze ke lo unxibile ibhlukwe.
Yayingowesithathu lowo.
That was a third picture.
Okay. And then the other, or this must be the second picture then, was of people having sex.
Omnye kumfanekiso sicinga uba ke ngulo wesibini njengoba utshilo uba owesithathu yintoni ngabantu ababini ababelanayo ngesondo.
Kunjalo.
That is correct.
Can I assume that the sexual pictures are not pictures that you receive, that you don't receive pictures like that very often?
Ndingayicingela ke le yokokuba lo mfanekiso wabantu ababelanayo ngesondo ayingomfanekiso umuntu azasuka nje phakathi noba kwindawo nina asuka amane efumanana nemifanekiso enjalo gqolo. Ndingayicingela.
Ewe nami ndiyicinga njalo, andinovele ndifumane umfanekiso onjalo.
Yes, that's how I thought about it as well, because I could not just simply randomly receive such a picture.
So they must have been quite shocking to you to look at.
Ngokuqinisekileyo yaba into eyothuse kakhulu uba mawube ujongene nayo wena loo nto.
Kunjalo.
That is correct.
Now, yesterday, when you were asked to identify those pictures, you were quite certain that those were the pictures that you received.
Izolo ke ngethuba ubucelwa into kokuba uzame ukujonga ubone ba ingaba zizo ngokwenene na ezi pictures okanye le mifanekiso ubuyithunyelelwe, wabe uqinisekile ke wena kwelakho icala into yoba yiyo le mifanekiso ubuyithunyelelwe.
Kunjalo.
That is correct.
And are you still sure today that the pictures, whether they are screenshots or WhatsApp or actual photographs, are you still sure that those are the things that you received?
Usaqinisekile ke namhlanje into kokuba usamile kwelithi yiyo le mifanekiso wayithunyelelwayo nokokuba ibizi-screenshot okanye ibiyimifanekiso eshukumayo nengashukumiyo, usaqinisekile uba ibiyiyo le mifanekiso ubuyithunyelelwe wena.
Qinisekile.
I'm certain.
Okay, my last issue I want to deal with, you were asked this morning by Mr. Madonsela about a picture that had movement in it, the picture of people having sex, and you said it had movement. Is that correct?
Okokugqibela nantsi into endifuna sijongane nayo. Ubuziwe apha ngumnumzana uMadonsela mayelana nomfanekiso wabantu ababini ababelanayo ngesondo, wangqina wena ngelithi ibingumfanekiso oshukumayo.
Kunjalo.
That's correct.
And are you aware that, in fact, that's what Ms. Mengo told this tribunal on the 15th of January?
Unalo ulwazi ke ngoku lokokuba ngokuqinisekileyo yinto leyo naye uMrs Mengo ayithethileyo apha kule tribunal nge-15 zikaJanuwari, utshilo naye apha.
Andiyazi ke uba wayetheni na.
I do not know what she mentioned.
That's fine. I'll keep that for argument. Thank you very much. No more questions, Chair.
Ndiyabulela.
My question really relates to what Advocate Bartlender excuse me, had just asked you, because I was also going to ask you about this. Receiving pictures of this nature is quite something extraordinary, because, as you say, it's not the kind of thing that you receive very often or at all.
Nam ke bendizawungena kanye kulo mbuzo obusobuziwe ke ngu-advocate, into ephathelele ke nalento yalo mfanekiso, ngoba kaloku noko asiyonto eqhelekileyo lena yoba umntu angasuke nje umhla nezolo athunyelelwe imifanekiso ekumila kunje. Phofu ke noko ithanda ukusothusa okanye yinto ethanda noko ukuthi kratya xa umntana uthi ayijongisise kakuhle uba yonto ibifanuba ifunyanwa gqolo ngumntu.
Kunjalo, Chair.
That is correct, Chair.
I'm just surprised, as I was yesterday, by the evidence of your colleague. I'm just surprised that while I could understand you not being able to give us the date on which you received them, while you not even be able to give us the month in which you received them, but surely not even the year in which you received such extraordinary pictures? Not even a year. How is that possible?
Ndisothukile ke na njengoko nayizolo bendinayo indawo noko endikhwanqisayo ngoba ndikhe ndayizama ukuyijongisisa nalapha kugxa wakho into yoba njengoba nawe uye wathunyelelwa lo mfanekiso ungabukekiyo kwaphela. Awukhumbuli usuku kanye idate, awukhumbuli inyanga, awukhumbuli nonyaka. Ibe ingumfanekiso noko lo ongamhlanga. Yenzeka njani ke leyo?
Andiyazi uba ndingayibeka kanjani na ke Chair, but I think inoba eyona nto yabangela into yobana ebangela uba ndingayikhumbuli ukothuka, ndandothukile.
I do not know how to put this, Chair, but however, I think the reason why I do not or I'm not able to recall the details of the date, month, and year, it's because I was very shocked.
Esinye isizathu kukungafuni ukuestimatha ixesha kanti ndi-estimate ixesha elirongo.
And another reason is not wanting to estimate as to the period or time or dates, avoiding to give a wrong time frame.
Yes, let's not perhaps move in circles, but exactly. I expected you to have been shocked. That's why I said that you might not remember the date, the day of the week, the date, the month, but surely the year. Anyway, let us leave it there because we can't assist you. If you had remembered the year, I might have tried to help you and say, was it before your birthday or after your birthday? Which you would never forget. But I can't even assist you because you don't even remember the year. Anyway, thank you.
Ndiyabulela ke. Sasesiyeka. Thank you, Chair.
Ma'am, thank you for your time. I know you had hoped to go home, to finish yesterday and go home, but these sort of things do happen, that we are not able to finish as we think we would. But thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Siyabulela ke kakhulu ngexesha lakho. Thank you, Chair.
Advocate Skippers.
Chair, I see it's 11:15. But we need to finish the next witness today because he has to fly back to the Eastern Cape today. So I don't want us to break long, but maybe this is an opportune time to take the tea break at this stage.
We'll come back, at 5:05? 5:05 is 11.
Or 11:05.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. We adjourn until then. Advocate Skippers.
Thank you, Chair. I'm ready to proceed. And the next witness is Mr. Denim Krokwana. He's in the red bundle, the continuation of volume 5 at page 734, capital A. 734A.
5. Let me close this for now. Is this mine? Just that. Page
734A.
I don't know. 734. This one. Is it this one? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chair.
How do you pronounce your name, surname correctly?
Denim, that's my first name. Kotwana is my last name.
Oh,
Kwana.
Kwana. Yes, do you have any objection against taking an oath?
No,
In that case, do you say that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth and nothing else? And if so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
so help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce your surname correctly, Mr. Krokwana. I'm sorry. Please state your position and your work position and where you are stationed.
I am the Director of Court Operations for the Eastern Cape Division of the High Court, and I am based at East London.
How many years have you been the Director of Court Operations?
From the 1st of August 2019,
In 2022, who did you report to?
I have dual reporting lines. I reported to the Judge President and to Court Administration at National Office.
So the respondent in this matter is also one of your reporting.
That is correct.
Do you also know Ms. Mengo in this matter?
Yes, I do.
How?
She once reported to me as well when I was still based at Makhanda High Court.
Now, you are aware of this proceedings and the nature of the proceedings. What do you know personally about this proceedings? Was anything reported to you?
Yes, Ms. Mengo reported the matter to me towards the end of November 2022.
How did she report it to you?
telephonically.
What did she say?
She said the judge president was sending her messages that she found inappropriate.
Yes.
And she further mentioned an incident which she wasn't sure as to whether it took place on the 14th or 15th in the JP's chambers.
Of which month? The 14th or 15th of which month and year?
Of November 2022.
Why do you say she was not sure about the 14th or the 15th?
It's because I wanted to be sure exactly on which date did the incident take place. Was it on the 14th or on the 15th? Because I was also at Mtata on the 14th. That is why I wanted to get clarity. And she said she wasn't certain between the two dates.
What did she report to you about the incident in the chambers, if anything?
She said that she was called by the JP to his chambers. And once they got into the chamber, she says the JP said that she should see the effect that she has on him.
Did she report anything else that happened in chambers?
At that stage, she said she quickly ran out.
Yes. What else did she report to you over the telephone?
I asked her as to how she would like the matter to be handled.
Yes.
And she said all she wants is that the judge president should apologize and make an undertaking that he wouldn't send her any messages that are inappropriate. And she said she would love that I organize a round table so that the matter can be discussed.
Did she inform you who she wanted present during this round table?
Yeah, she mentioned she preferred some female judges. I can't remember all the names. But my interest first was to ensure that I get the buy-in from both parties. That is, both parties agree on the idea of a round table.
Yes.
And I undertook to embark on that process. And I was liaising between the judge president and her until the incident when Miss Mengo put up the WhatsApp messages that were exchanged between her and the JP on her status.
Her WhatsApp status.
Yes. That process fell through.
The roundtable
The
process.
round table process fell through because of that. As soon as I became aware that there were these messages that were put on Miss Mengo's status, I called her. I think I might not have been able to get her the first time I called, and then she returned the call. I said, on the strength of what has happened, the idea of a round table is off the table. The idea of the round table is off the table in the light of what has happened, and that she should consider following a formal process. And I advised National Office accordingly. National Office got in touch with her, and the next call I received was to tell me the call I received from National Office was that we should arrange for her to go to Midrand at our National Office.
You don't know what happened in Midrand, is that correct?
No, I don't.
So the roundtable never happened.
The roundtable never happened. I should also record that a day before the WhatsApp messages were put up, I engaged a little bit with Ms. Mengo and also with the judge president, and I managed to get a nod from his side that he is prepared to be part of the round table, but he came up with some terms, for instance, that the meeting should be limited to the three of us, that is myself, himself, and Ms. Mengo. But unfortunately, before I could even convey that issue of the WhatsApp messages, we woke up to the very next day.
Thank you, Chair. There's just one thing that I want to show you. This was also shared with the previous, Mr. Chete. It's just a screen, of the video footage of the CCTV footage. I just want to find out if you can identify that what is shown on the screen now. Do you recognize this the still photo that's shared on the screen now?
Yes, I recognize that.
What is that? Can you just describe so that the panel also have a good understanding of what this is depicting?
It's a passage that side of the court manager's office and also the JP's office at Mthatha High Court.
All right, if you can just show us, there's two doors here in the beginning on the left-hand side. Whose doors are those?
I'm not familiar with that building, so I wouldn't be sure whose doors are those two.
All right, but you said the JP's office is also there. Which one is the JP's office?
The one right there at the corner.
That one where the arrow is now.
Yes.
What is in front of the door there? Do they use that door? Do you know?
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Not from
But
where I'm sitting. I'm not sure.
that a corridor goes around the corner, is that correct?
That is correct.
Do you know what is around that corner?
It's other offices.
And are there any CCTV cameras on that side as well?
I don't know. I don't know, but there should be.
There should be, but
Yes.
you're not
I
sure.
don't know.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. That is all that I have for this witness.
Advocate Skippers, you are referring us to a still video. We are just inquiring as to whether this particular video, is it part of the record? Do you want it to be handed in? Say, for example, this matter goes on appeal and so forth. The appeal court wants the records of this information.
Yes, this video will be handed in with the next witness, Mr. Naidu.
Okay, thank you.
Advocate Butlender.
Thank you, Chair. I don't have any questions for the witness.
Mr. Madonsela.
Chair, I have a few questions for this witness, but the witness went beyond the ambit of what Mbenenge and have discussed this witness will traverse. So I need to stand down a matter so that I collect other documents that I will have to put through to this witness, which are not immediately available.
How much? How many minutes do you want us to wait?
10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Okay. You'll call us when you are ready, but it shouldn't be beyond
It can be.
10 minutes. We adjourn. Thank you. Mr. Maton Sela, I think.
Chair, might I please be of assistance and ask the chair to pull out volume 1, page 162. But at the same time, ask the panel members not to take away volume 5 because I'll be referring to pages 736 and 754 during the course of my cross-examination.
Okay.
Mr. Kokwana. Kokwana. Can I, so that I don't bite my tongue, can I just call it denim? With the permission, Chair. Denim, you were in Umtata on the 14th of November, 2022, as you testified, not so?
That is correct.
Why were you at Umtata in particular? Umtata High Court?
It's because there was a meeting which was scheduled by the Judge President with Judge Majiki, and also there were other judges who attended the meeting. I had to explain certain benefits of the judges.
The S&Ts?
S&T being one of them, and also the traveling when a judge is invited to a conference, maybe by a legal body.
Yes. In this matter, you have deposed to a number of affidavits, not so?
Two.
Sorry?
I deposed to one affidavit, and then I was requested to deal with something, and I did that. So I would say two.
Two affidavits?
Yes.
Now, I counted 4. Let me just take to some of them. You deposed to an affidavit on 1st February 2023 in relation to the intimidation case. You remember there was a
Yes.
criminal case dealing with the allegations that Ms. Mango had been asked to withdraw the charge or the complaint. Remember that criminal case?
Yes, I remember that, but I don't regard it as part of this one. That is why I said I deposed to two as far as I can remember for this one.
Yes, the other one, of course, is one that you deposed to on the 12th of July 2023, dealing with the internal, what I can call internal complaint.
Yes.
With the OCJ. Not so?
Yes.
And then the other statement that you deposed to is this, it's an affidavit dated the 27th of November 2024, Which is at Chair at page 469 of volume 5. In this case.
Yes.
So 469.
Now, 469 is in volume 3. It's that I just made a duplicate, the one that I referred to this morning to 734A. I made a duplicate just for easier for us to follow, but it's the same one on 469 volume 3.
Yes.
Thanks.
So in starting with the initial affidavit you made, or maybe the more recent one, it seems to me that the complainant has never clarified, never clarified to you, and I'll take you through the documents in a moment. When exactly does she say the indecent exposure or the effect on me incident occurred, not so?
No, it was 14th and 15th, so it was not clarified in that manner.
And but in the grievance, why would we be in a difficult to understand when it occurred? Because in the grievance itself, can I take you to the grievance? It is at volume 1.
Chair, can I interrupt for a
Page-
minute, please? So, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, Ms.
Sure.
Mwanza. Can I just place on record that that this grievance, the criminal injury charges, were not anything that were put to my client at the time she gave evidence. I'm not sure where Advocate Madansela is going, but I just want to place on record that those papers, those affidavits, were not put to her during her evidence. But I'll see where we go and object further should that be necessary.
They were actually not dealt with by Advocate Skippers. Those papers, those documents. Mr. Madonse, isn't it so that
Yes, it is so.
those papers were actually not dealt with?
Yes, but I mean, he says he was not sure about, the witness is saying he was not sure about whether it occurred on the 14th or 15th. So I'm just testing what he knew at that time when the grievance was made.
Chair, the witness is not saying he's not sure about the date. He says the complainant was not sure about the date. That's what he testified. He was sure about the date. He was there on the 14th, but when she reported to him, she was not sure whether or not it happened on the 14th or the 15th.
So who is not sure, who was sure?
The complainant was not sure when she reported it to him because he wanted to clarify. Because he was present on the 14th, that's why I wanted to clarify whether it happened on that day when he was also there or the next day. And then she indicated to him, that's what he testified, that she could not remember whether or not it was the 14th, or was not sure whether or not it was 14 or 15. Not this witness.
Can I just ask the question because there is no objection yet?
Maybe there is.
Yes.
Advocate Skippers, I suppose you are not saying either that whereas the complainant was certain not to have been sure whether it was the 14th or the 15th.
Chair, the question that was put to this witness was that he was not sure whether or not it was the 14th or the 15th. That is not what he testified. He testified when the complainant reported to him telephonically, she indicated to him that she was not sure whether or not it was the 14th or the 15th.
Yes.
So it's not correct to say that he was not sure.
About what?
When he testified, when he testified, he was sure that she reported to him that there was an incident either on the 14th or the 15th.
Yes.
He's sure about
Correct.
that.
Correct, yes.
But to say to him that he was not sure when the incident took place is not correct, to put it that way to him. It should rather...
But he's not sure when the incident, he himself is not sure when the incident happened.
That is correct, but the way the question was put to him says that he testified that he was not sure about the date. But it's not,
No, that cannot be correct.
that's correct. Yes, that's my objection, Chair.
Yes.
Can I maybe rephrase the question for progress?
Yes, please.
In her grievance, which we see at page 736, I don't know whether you have that volume.
Sorry, but we go back to Advocate Butlander's point, isn't it?
Yes.
Where I don't know whether she's objecting or just for the record, but she's pointing out that it might not be fair for you to put to the witness the contents of that document which were not placed before us or put to the complainant. Do I summarize you correctly?
Yes, that's correct. I think it's fine for Advocate Madonsela to ask this witness questions about his own knowledge. I'm just making the point that if there's evidence that you want to put to him that was not put to my client, I will object to that. And going through those documents, she was not taken through those documents. But of course, it will depend question by question.
Yes, and can I just go to the complaint itself? Maybe we can.
Yes, there may be an
make
easier way
progress,
to achieve the same purpose.
Yes, let's just go to the complaint itself. Do you have volume 1 in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Can I ask you to go to page 11? Yes, fine.
It's the same that you attached.
It's the same, identical.
Attached the complaint.
Which identify maybe it's different.
It's the same. Attached the same complaint.
Yes.
Are you familiar with this document? It starts at page 2 and it ends at page 15.
Yes.
Now, this is the complaint which was laid by Ms. Mengo against the respondent. And I'm taking you to page 11, paragraph 20.
I'm at it.
It starts with the words, it was on Monday, 14 November, he, referring to the JP, called me to his chambers and asked me, why am I wearing colorful clothes when it is a court day? I told him I'm not going to court, but my colleague is. He said he was concerned about the decorum and not saying that my clothes were not appropriate. This was not offensive, I must say, and I was not the only one present on that day. Then he continues in the next sentence. On the following, a day later, that is now a day later after the 14th of November, which is the 15th of November, he sees me walking down the corridor and imitates how I walk, didn't comment. I walked past instead on my way back, and the paragraph continues to deal with the incident of what I call the effect on me incident. So, what I was putting to you is that, given what she stated in the complaint, she made it clear, did she not, that the incident, the effect on me incident, was on a day later after the 14th of November, which is the 15th of November, not so?
Yes, that's correct.
And so, when you deposed your affidavit in February 20, on the 1st of February, the initial affidavit, or in July 2023, you knew about the existence of this complaint and the dates which she narrated incidents occurred, not so?
Yes.
Sorry, which
So-
affidavit?
Of the 12th of July.
July 20.
23. So, in that affidavit, if we were to go to it, Chair, you'll find that affidavit. It's not. Yeah. Is it part of the document?
Skippers, you know where that affidavit is?
Is that the one that you are referring to, 469 in volume 3, but also in volume 5, the one that we referred to this morning, 734 capital A? I just made a duplicate so that we don't go around in all the volumes.
The one dated, oh, no, it's a different one. He's talking about the July one and not November one. We are trying to help you, but you must help yourself as well.
That's why I was saying that. That's why I asked for a stand down and I asked us to come back quickly because I do not want to waste time on the documents. If it had been known that we have to prepare the documents, we would have made them available. But that's why we seek assistance now that we want to help the witness to get through this quickly.
As to where you want to locate the affidavit of the 12th of July 2023.
Yes. Chair, maybe can I just move quickly on this subject because I might read the document. And
Maybe
then,
you can.
And then get on with the matter. It's a small issue, really, which may not need you. I may place the affidavit in front of you later.
Yes. But is it possible to tell us what it is about and you want to put it to the witness?
Yes.
What is it that you want?
It says.
Before you do that, can I just clarify? We don't have that document. It's not in our papers. And I'm just, does it not come from one of the documents that wasn't put to her, the docket or the something else? Or can you help me find it?
It must be coming from some other document. Yeah.
No, but I mean, we need to know where it is. The page that was missing is a November affidavit. That's the one that you said you didn't have, that Advocate Skippers gave both of us before we broke. So that's November. And this one is July, I understand. And where do I find that in the papers?
Well, maybe let me do this way. Can I ask that we use the November affidavit?
Sure.
Maybe we can then get rid of the other one that cannot be located. At page 469. I'm talking about the 27 November 2024 affidavit. Over there, Chair.
Oh, yes.
Now, I don't know whether the witness does have that affidavit in front of him. Can I read to you what it says?
Yes, you can read it for
Please,
me.
paragraph 4, you say, she, referring to Miss Mengo, reported that the judge president was sending her messages which are not appropriate, and that on 14 or 15 November, he imitated how she was walking. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Now, this incident about the JP imitating how she was walking, on her version, occurred, which I've read to you in the complaint, happened on the 15th of November. Not so?
In the report that she gave to me, it was as if it's an incident that happened on the same day. The two incidents happened on the same day. That is between the 15th and the 14th.
But the point I'm making is that on the 14th of November, in the complaint at page 11, which I read to you, that incident of him imitating how he was walking happened a day later, on the 15th. That's the point. You understand?
Her version should prevail because mine is based on a report which I got from her.
The point I'm making is that at least as of November 2024, with reference to the complaint which she had made, as it appears at page 11, paragraph 20, it was clear that in her statement that it had occurred, she had said it occurred on the 15th.
Chair, just to be clear, this page 11 is a complainant's statement which she made while she was lodging the complaint. This witness is testifying on the report that she gave him. He doesn't know what she said in her statement, and he was not part of drafting the statement. He is testifying on what was reported to him. There might be differences, because what she reported to him and what she wrote in the statement, he doesn't have any privy to that.
But that is why Mr. Madonsela had to read to him, to the witness.
And he answered it.
Verbatim.
And
Can I just finish? That is why Advocate Madonsela saw the need to read verbatim from the complaint, because he knows that the witness does not know what stands in the complainant's complaint.
Correct.
And that's why he's saying, I'm reading to you what stands in the complaint.
Correct.
Yeah, what's your problem?
The problem is, the witness said, I'm telling you what she reported to me. What she said there, he agrees, it's there in the statement, but he's telling what she reported to him. So he cannot say why there's a difference. So I think the point is made.
Well, I don't know if he asked him, what's the difference? I haven't heard that question. I don't know whether he's building towards it. Where are you, Mr. Madonsela?
I'm here.
I can see you, but
I'm just watching what's happening, because actually I wanted to short second this whole thing by saying that the statement, the claim, or the complaint that Ms. Mengo submitted with the JSC in January is identical with the statement that was attached to the grievance. But I was forbidden to go to the grievance because it was suggested to me that it was not put to the complaining. So this is a long way to go around saying the same thing. Say it was there in the complaint, it was there in the grievance, identically the same thing. And the point I was trying to make, and I'm making with this through this witness, is that he was aware already in February or even in January, when he deposed to the affidavit in November, that its incident was, as narrated to him by the complainant, occurred on the 15th. That's the point.
yeah.
But if I'm trying to go to the grievance, my learned friend is gonna jump because he'll say it was not put to the complaint.
It may well be that these are points for argument, really.
But I want this witness to comment on it.
Okay, go ahead.
Just then we move on to
Go ahead, please.
the point that I've been at pains to make, and I wanted to comment on it. As at 14 November, or rather 27 November 2024, you are aware of the grievance, you are aware of the complaint that Ms. Mango had laid against the respondent. That in that complaint and grievance, she had identified the 15th of November 2022 as the date when the effect on me incident occurred. Not so?
Yes, that might be so. I want to say to the commission, I took an oath to tell the truth. The truth I'm telling is, when she reported, she said the incident took place on the 14th or the 15th. The fact that I became aware through other sources of documents that she says the incident took on the 14th is not the reason for me to change what she reported to me towards the end of November.
Thank you for that answer. Just to finalize on that issue, but when you spoke to her, it was around, you said, end of November
2022.
2022.
Yes.
And the incident she was talking about had occurred on her version either on the 14th or on the 15th.
That is correct.
So even as early as that, when the incident was still fresh in her mind, she was not even sure what date it was that she alleged the alleged incident occurred. Not so?
That's correct.
Now, sorry, before you leave that point, flowing from all that has been exchanged and argued in the past few minutes, in the midst of all that, you said something on which I need some clarification. Did you or did you not say that, according to you, the imitation of complaints gate, manner of walking,
Yes.
and the effect thing, according to you, you said, and you must correct me if I'm wrong, you said according to you, they occurred on the same day.
That is correct.
I sought the clarification because, according to her, they did not occur on the same day. You don't have to comment on that.
No, I've got no comment on that.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Can I ask you to go to page 162 of volume 1? That is the respondent's answers to the complaint, Chair.
So sorry, what page, Ms. Monitor?
It's page 162,
Thank you.
paragraph 35. Now, this is, as a result of this complaint, you then had the reason to try to mediate, as it were, between the two of them, not so?
That is correct.
And you're arranging a meeting now between the two of them. Now, the respondent sets out this version, and I want to give a background to it because the real point that I want to take you to is at paragraph 35. Well, it starts really at page 162, paragraph 32. It says, towards the end of the week, 161, paragraph 32. Can I just read it to you aloud?
Yes.
Towards the end of the week of 21 November 2022, I was discharging my functions in the Gqeberha seat of the High Court. I received a call from a colleague who informed me he wished to see me. I inquired from this colleague, what the purpose of the meeting was. I was told that I would be informed of the purpose during the following week when in East London. And I met with the colleague in East London, in the following week in East London. He informed me that Ms. Mbenenge requested a meeting which would be attended by a certain judges, and that if the meeting did not materialize, she would escalate a complaint she had against me to the Judicial Service Commission. The colleague further told me that the proposed meeting was in relation to two pictures, just underscore that, which he showed me, these being annexure K8 and P. I was taken aback at this and immediately informed the colleague that I knew nothing about these pictures. I still do not. Let me pause there for a moment. The respondent says that colleague being referred to is yourself, not so? So, sorry, it's not you, no, correct. But apparently the pictures that, are you aware of this event?
No.
Not aware. Now, anyway, it continues that I was initially amenable to attending the meeting, but on further reflection, did not see the prudence in attending a meeting where I would be confronted with pictures that I had no knowledge of, more so in the presence of other persons. I found it disconcerting to learn that the subject of the meeting was two pictures which I bore no knowledge of. I was unable to fathom why Ms. Mbenenge would, in those circumstances, want to confront me with the pictures. Now, this is the important part about the meeting. On 2 December 2022, I was informed by Director of Court Operations, that's yourself,
Yes.
via WhatsApp, that at the proposed meeting, Ms. Mbenenge intended presenting material that had been the subject of chats. You agree with that?
Yes.
And I previously had with her, among which was a screenshot of a message I had deleted. The DCO added that we could discuss the matter on the 4th of December. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
And he would be out of reach over the weekend. And then JP says, I thank the DCO for sharing the information and dropped a voice note appealing for a meeting involving only Ms. Mbenenge and me. Can you pause there? Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
In addition, I dropped the DCO message, and he quotes the message, to the extent that Ms. Mbenenge may have been offended by the stuff I shared with her, I would be amenable to a meeting between the two of us where we reconciled any possible difference without involvement of others. Do you confirm that?
I confirm that.
The voice note and written message I sent to the DCO seem to have been accessed only on the 4th of December, as indeed the DCO must have been out of reach. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So it seems to me at that stage, when the meeting was being arranged, The issue that was at hand was the chats and the screen grabs, not so?
That is correct, yes.
Not so much the incident that occurred, that allegedly occurred on the 14th or the 15th of November.
Focus was on the messages, yes.
Yes. Can upload. Chair, there is another document I need to introduce to this witness whilst we are here. It relates to, oh, they have arrived. I had asked, we sent somebody to go and print them during the intervening period or the break. They are now here. We're going to screen them up anyway. Screen them up. Can I ask that they be circulated amongst the panel members? And I propose, because this document is going to be used also with regard to other witnesses, that it be accepted as Exhibit 4. Once it has been proved. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Now, Mr.
We need to identify it,
Yes.
but because it hasn't been proved,
Yes.
we can only say provisionally submitted as Exhibit 4.
Provisionally. Ms. Denim.
Just a minute, I'm just making the notion first.
I agree that it must be provisional until it has been proven, Chair.
Advocate Butland.
Yeah, I would agree. I have no idea where this comes from, if it's up to date.
Yes.
It doesn't bear hitting even.
We just provisionally mark it
Yeah.
as Exhibit 4 because to avoid the long description of say that document which was not yet proven all the time, that document which was, so we just provisional Exhibit 4. Right.
Denim. Have you got the document in front of you?
Yes, I do.
The document is a layout plan depicting certain or the floor plan for a building. Can you see that?
Yes, I can see that.
Can I ask you to compare this layout plan or floor plan with what is being streamed here, which you were shown during your evidence in chief, in front of you here? See?
Yes, I can.
If you see that the document in front of you has got numbers 12, 13, 15, 16, and 17. Can you see that?
I can see that.
Can you put the document just like that with the numbers on your left?
Yes. With numbers on my...
On your left, yeah.
Yes.
And if you look at the document, that plan, it is showing a passage, does it not?
It does.
And the chambers on the left side, on the left-hand side of the passage, it's in fact it's 1, 2 chambers. Can you see?
That is correct.
When you go down further, that passage, right at the end of the passage, it shows another chamber. It's written new judges' chambers. Can you see that?
Yes.
And it's chamber 10.
Yes.
If we turn right, following the passage, there is another office next to chamber 10. Can you see?
Yes, I can see.
And then if we go down that passage, there's chamber 9. Can you see?
Yes, I can see.
Now, just to orientate ourselves, if you look at the picture in front of you here, is it correct that it depicts the passage that starts from chamber, what is called chamber 1, acting judge chamber was 01? Can you see that?
Yes.
Just a minute, we cannot see that. Okay.
Can I proceed, Chair?
And the arrows designate the passage.
The
right?
passage, yes.
Yes.
Is it correct that this picture, the picture that is streamed here depicts the passage as you view from the position of chamber 1 in the direction of the new chamber 10? Now, to put names to the chambers, is it correct that chamber 10, right, that corner chamber, is actually the judge president chambers?
That is correct.
Now, starting from chamber 1, the passage from chamber 1, that's chamber, the first door is the door into the chamber of what we call the acting judges. Oh, let me start afresh. For this. Is it correct that if you're looking at the passage from the position of chamber 1, 01, there is a door there?
Yes.
And this streamed picture is showing the view from the door, looking at the passage that is shown in the picture. Is that so?
That is so, yes.
In other words, we are showing from the door of the passage, we are showing the chambers which are depicted in Exhibit 4, which are chambers on the left-hand side, which are 2 doors, and the chamber down the passage, which is chamber 10.
That's correct.
Now, on the left-hand side of the passage, there are 2 doors depicted in the picture that is streamed. The first one enters into a judge's chamber, first judge's chamber, chamber 1. Not so?
Yes.
The second one enters into the judge's chamber 2.
Yes.
And then down the passage, right at the end of the passage, there is a door that is shown in Exhibit 4, but that can barely be seen in the streamed picture. On the left is the door entering Judge President's chambers, not so?
That's correct.
And right at the end of the passage, at the corner there, is something in red. Is it correct that represents a fire hydrant? Right at the corner.
From now, I can't recall.
Well, the one who somebody else might attest to that. But then if you turn right, then there will be a door which is in the passage in the direction of chamber 9 that enters into an office next to the JP's chambers, not so?
Yes.
And after that, there is another chamber, which is chamber 10. Well, it's new secretary chamber 10. Can you see that?
Yes, I can say that.
And there's also then the after chamber 9.
That's correct.
Now, from what you were shown earlier in evidence in Chi, you were shown the passage, only the passage that depicts the direction from chamber 1 to JP's chambers. And so what you see in this footage is the direction of chamber 1 to the judge's chambers.
That is correct.
And
Sorry to interrupt. Looking at the picture there, at the end of the passage, are there two doors or what? What is there at the end of this passage? On the picture, on the screen.
On the screen, it's not clear what stands there right at the end of that passage.
But is it the same passage then that turns right towards the JP's chambers?
It is.
Okay, thanks.
But just to clarify, Denim, what is depicted in that picture as we see it now is not the door that enters into the JP's chambers. In other words, there's no door directly entering JP's chambers.
No.
In fact, what there is a door on the left of what we see that enters into JP's chambers.
Yes.
At the corner before you turn right into chamber 9. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And we can talk about inside. I don't know whether we can speak about what is happening inside the walls as they are depicted in the layout plan. But in between the new chamber 10 and the chamber that we see with a floor plan just adjacent to it. In other words, just after the hydrant, there is a wall that separates the chambers, the JP's chambers, chamber 10, and that office, little office. Not so?
Yes.
And there is a door that enters into that little office if one would have turned right in the direction of chamber 10 to enter into that little office.
That's correct.
Chair, might I say more on this later? I just thought it was an opportune moment whilst this witness is here to address that issue. Just to finalize on this witness, Chair, can I just ask you something that you have not testified about that is probably not related to the complaint itself? Is it correct that sometime in 2023, whilst these proceedings, like when the complaint was lodged and there was exchange of documents between the parties and there were decisions by the JSC whether this matter should come to this tribunal or not, whilst those processes were ongoing, the JP's portrait hung in the corridors of the courtroom in Grahamstown were removed at some point.
Yes, that is correct.
Who removed the judge president's portrait in Grahamstown High Court?
Yeah, I don't know what the relevance of the removal of the portrait has to this matter.
And I can't stop him because I don't know what the relevance is. I will only know if he puts the question. Go ahead.
Chairperson, I don't want to give I can give the answer out of the record because it will become apparent, it will become important later in the arguments which the claimants and the evidence leader have foreshadowed.
I allowed you to proceed with the question.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted me to motivate for the question.
No.
Yes, who removed that portrait?
It was later discovered that it was Miss Mbenenge.
And did you take any measures to correct the situation?
The matter was handled by the court manager and the security manager at the time. My advice when the matter was first reported was that because it's an asset that is missing, the matter should be reported to the police.
So what measures did you take?
I said to the court manager the matter should be reported to the police when it was reported to me that that photograph is missing.
In other words, is the portrait back where it should be?
It was, the court manager advised me that she kept it somewhere for safekeeping. And she was busy with a process of trying to get frames or some lockable frames on the walls. She has managed to procure that. And then once she did that, she placed everything back on the wall and she took pictures. She showed me that she has placed those back on the wall. After that, I think at the time Miss Mbenenge was on leave. Once she came back, the court manager tells me she approached her to complain about the putting up of the photo, and she wanted to get an advice as to what she should do. My response was the photo should be up there because it's not related to this case. Apparently, the court manager asked for an advice from the acting judge president, who advised her that we have to be sensitive, the portrait should be removed. So that is the decision that they took, which is not in line with my advice to the court manager.
Chair, I have no further questions.
I have no questions. Thank you, Chair.
Advocate Butler.
Thank you, Chair. Just a couple of things. Mr. Krwana, am I saying it right?
Yes.
Thank you. On this last issue that you were asked, can I just let you know this was not something that was ever asked of my client. So she never gave her her explanation of what happened with this portrait. But you are correct that it was her that took it down the first time. Isn't it correct that the portrait of the JP was hanging right outside Ms. Mengo's office so that as she exited her office every time, it was visible to her? Are you aware of that?
I am aware of that, yes.
Okay. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but if Ms. Mbenenge was in fact asked, she would explain that she was so traumatized at having to look at this portrait in the context of having to give evidence here, in the context of a complaint that preceded it, that she could not handle it anymore and she removed it. And she accepts that she did that. But are you aware of that?
That it was traumatizing her. That's what I'm told. She said yes, as the reason for it to be removed.
And are you aware that when she was giving evidence here in January for 2 weeks, she was on leave? You would be aware of that.
Yes, I am.
And when she returned to court after having given evidence, the portrait had been placed back in that position outside her office door. And that is the point at which she approached the court manager to remove it. Are you aware of that?
I'm aware of that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Krokwana, I also just want to place on record that my client is grateful for you, that you have assisted her and she gave evidence that you had assisted her with obtaining security during this process. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you very much for your assistance. And no more questions, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, you are excused.
Thank you so much.
Advocate Skipper.
Thank you, Chair. As discussed during our tea break, we will not be leading any further witnesses today, as everyone is exhausted after this long week that we had. So we can then stand down until Monday morning, where I will be calling Mr. Neil Naidu, to come and testify.
Can you agree to start at 9:30?
That is in order, Chair.
Thank you. Proceedings are urgent, and please, you are released to go. Feel free to go, because we are going to maybe spend some time here packing our things.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.